Okay, we're on our last graph, and this is going to use some what I find exceptionally useful capacities of Google Sheets to make in making bar graphs. As you know, this is going to be comparing male and female reptiles and how fast they eat. I'll just note that this is very likely a secondary question, right? We saw this data before in our scatter plot graph, right? So you can imagine if somebody was looking at if size affects how fast reptiles eat, but they were very conscientious and documented all kinds of information about their subjects, you know, what species they are, if they're male or female, their names, etc. That means you can go back and maybe ask other questions of that same data set. So as you know, that means we're not going to use all this data. We're just going to use the data that's under this column, male or female, and this column, how fast they've eaten. You also know that we're not going to be making a bar for every individual. We need to aggregate the data somehow. In this case, we're going to average it. But we don't have to do what we did before, and there's a shortcut. It's super cool, so that's why we're doing this. So we know we want the data in this column, so go ahead and click up where it says D. And if you hold the command button on your computer, the command button in the kind of the bottom left of your keyboard, when you hold that down and click on column F, it will highlight both of those and nothing else. Okay, so that's the data we want. And then if we go over here to insert chart, it can say, okay, I guess you want this. Here's a bar for everything. You know you don't want that. I just told you you don't want that. But, magic. Down, it's not magic. Down here under setup, you'll see this under x-axis, this aggregate button. If you click on aggregate, it aggregates it, all the F's together and all the M's together. And over here, you get to choose how you aggregate, right? So right now it's on sum. It's like the total number of mealworms eaten. We didn't want to do that, right? This time we're taking the average. On average, what do they do in 2 minutes? So click where it says sum and select average. Nice. If you can imagine, if you've got hundreds of observations, oh, this is a big time saver. We set it up correctly, and now it's just work through all the customized parts, right? So under chart style, we're going to do nothing. Leave it alone. Under chart and axis titles, you can go through and we can fix our chart title, just like before, how fast male and female reptiles eat mealworms. Okay, fun times. And then we have a chart subtitle, which again is giving us our sample size, important. So how many mealworms in 2 minutes? Okay, minutes. Sample size equals 8. Okay. So we have our title and our subtitle. The horizontal axis, now this F and M, it says F and it says M because that's what it grabbed from this data set here. So it just picked F and M, which is fine. We can add a horizontal title. We'll say sex of reptile female F or male M. Fun times. And our vertical axis, you click on there, and we need a vertical axis. Now this is important. You want to indicate what you did to the data, right? Did you total it? Did you average it? We averaged it here, so we want to make that clear. So that is in the axis label. So we're saying average number of mealworms eaten. Okay. Do we need to say in 2 minutes? We don't. It's already in the subtitle. Again, we don't have to have a whole bunch of redundancies. If the information's there and it's clear, then you don't have to add it. All right, so average number of mealworms eaten, sex of reptile, those are our axes. Everything's looking good so far. The only thing we need to still add, according to our guide graph, is the actual averages. So in each of these bars, right? And there's a little trick associated with that as well. So if you click on series, all right, and if you scroll down to data labels, click on data labels, and there it goes. But you'll notice the female data has 3 numbers after the decimal point, and the male only has 1 decimal point number. That's sort of inconsistent and unappealing. To fix that, under data labels, if you look down and it says number format. So if we click there, and we want, I don't see, we're not dealing with money or percents. I don't want scientific notation. Ooh, that's yucky. Go to other custom formats. And I just want 1 decimal place. So 0.0. That's going to say I just want 1 decimal place if we click apply. And now we have it rounded to just 1 decimal place. And so I will just note that this is a very tiny difference, right? This difference is most likely very much attributable to extraneous variables. I would not consider this a very convincing difference without further tests with bigger sample sizes. In your future lives, you can be learning, no doubt, about aspects of statistics. We're not doing it here, but this is where you would get that. This error bar button here, if you click on the error bars, and if you calculate standard deviations, it'll put like cute little error bars there for different levels of standard deviation. 1 standard deviation or 5 standard deviations. That shows you like what's your range of error here. And just, eyeballing this for fun times, you can see this difference is within the error, the range of error here. This isn't a very convincing difference. Okay, so we made that last graph. Congratulations, we did it.